Alright, load it back where we left off here, guys. And that was quick. Welcome back, Joe. Welcome back, my friend. Alright, give me just a second. Alright. The factory gates rise ahead of Astrid and me. They seem different today, taller, darker, and heavier. So as we know where we just left off, guys, Astrid and I are now fighting for freedom. And our mission now, instead of working for Kontar, our colonel here at the tank factory for the Empire, we realize that they are controlling everybody, and not everybody knows the entire truth. So we're here for the end, guys. Our mission now is to infiltrate the tank factory, which we already work at. And as spies, we are going to plant a bomb in their biggest weapon, this new tank. So Kontar was telling his daughter in the last episode how proud he is of me, and that all I need to do is make this final tank, assemble it, and he will basically make me a leader of my own part of the factory. He even wanted to set up as soon as I built this tank, he wanted to set up basically a meeting, I believe, where he was going to tell me I was marrying his freaking daughter. Trying to control me in that way. So it definitely looks like Kontar was definitely trying to control even who I married, his own daughter. So we're not falling for that no more, guys. We're going to jump in. We are with Astrid now, and we're doing this. It's getting good. So, yep, taller and heavier gates, more security in this final tank building. For the first time, I'm afraid to cross these gates. I'm being a traitor. That's true, you are. But like your father was as well, he did it for the right reasons, right? I am destroying everything that I held dear. What are you thinking, Bastian? Are you okay? Oh, it's nothing. Astrid takes my hand. This has to be hard for you. Just remember our goal. We're fighting for something bigger than we are. Stay strong. We've reached the final stretch. We enter the gates, and I try to keep my cool, but I can't shake this uneasy feeling that I have. In the yard, we are approached by Hans. Bastian, good morning. Go see Colonel Ackerman immediately. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hope all is well. I hope he hasn't found out. He might have found out about the death of our mother, though. That might be what this is about. Yes, sir. Astrid looks at me, but she doesn't say anything. Everything in Kontar's office looks the same, but everything is different now. I suddenly realize this might be the hardest part of being a rebel, letting down the man who has helped me so much. I remember the first time I stood in Kontar's office. I felt scared. And I remember that helped me then. I remember what helped me then, too. Kontar stands facing the window, his back towards me. I perform the Imperial salute. I put my right hand on my left shoulder and bow. My left arm hangs down so low it almost touches the floor. I wait for recognition from authority. I perform the salute to the minutest detail. At least a full minute passes. A small bead of sweat gathers on my forehead. Still, I wait. I don't dare to glance up at Kontar. You know how nervous you would have to be in this moment, knowing what you're about to do, knowing that everything you've ever stood for, you're now going against? This would be I can't even imagine how hard this would be. Why isn't he saying anything? Another minute goes by. My breathing gets heavier. My left leg starts to shake. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This would be so hard. Yeah, I'm wondering if he can actually pull it off. I'm wondering if Kontar somehow knows what's up. I have to do something. I slowly, very slowly, raise my head just a little until I can see Kontar. He's still facing the damn window. He seems to be very deep in thought. Fear rushes through my body. Does he know? That's what I'm wondering. Does he know? That's what I'm really wondering. How did he find out? What's gonna happen now? I'm gonna go to prison, or even worse. Have they already taken Astrid? Do they already know about our hideout? Kontar turns around, surprised, and then he smiles. Bastian, by the light of Harthar, what are you doing? Sir, I am performing the salute. Get up already. I'm sorry I didn't notice you. My mind just drifted away. We have a huge day in front of us, Bastian. He has no idea how right he is. Today, we're finally going to finish the Poodle prototype. This marks the day of victory not only for us, but for the whole Empire. The Poodle will win this war for us. Our enemies have nothing alike to set against us. Before winter sets in, we'll have taken Kolonov's capital city. Once Moscow falls, the whole rotten system will come down like a house of cards. We'll celebrate the birth of Horus and the most of our soldiers return from the front. That's great, sir. I'm sure of our victory. I realize I'm still saluting, my head awkwardly tilted upwards. I quickly spring up and straighten my back. My blood starts flowing freely again, and I try to relax. Kontar obviously doesn't know a thing. Are you ready for today's big task? Yes, sir. That's great to hear. I will personally supervise the assembly today. Uh-oh, he's gonna be there, huh? Oh, that's great, sir. We will do our best possible work on this one. A more serious look suddenly appears on Kontar's face. Listen, Bastian, after we finish the prototype today, I think we should celebrate. Would you join Nefer and me at our house after dinner, or for dinner? Our chef makes the most excellent sauerkraut. Sir, I would be honored. You are most kind. Oh, Bastian, you still can't tell the difference between a formal occasion and an informal one. Tonight's going to be a fun, informal meeting. We can practice that. I'd be happy to see you and Nefer getting along. Yes, sir. Thank you, Kontar. Luckily, we'll have time to practice. Now get going. You're dismissed. Yes, sir. Woo, we dodged one there. I was starting to wonder. I feel horrible. I've let Kontar down in a monstrous way. I know it's for the right cause, but does it really have to be done like this? I guess there's no other way. I'm going to lose Kontar and Nefer forever. The die has been cast. In another world, it might have gone differently. I step into the assembly hall. It's the last time I'm ever going to do so, at least as a factory worker. The air smells of hot metal and petroleum. The machinery, the conveyor belts, the welding, the large pieces of metal. This was my home. It's bittersweet. Bastian, haha, that's my good lad. Are you up for the challenge today? Yes, sir. Good. This is by far the most demanding task you or even I have ever taken part of. That's why today we have some extra help with us here. The main engineer from the other department is sick today, so I've replaced him with a highly skilled engineer you already know. And Astrid. That would be me, sir. Yes, Astrid will assist in the assembly today. In addition, considering the importance of today's work, Colonel Ackerman himself will personally supervise the assembly. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. You two seem quite eager to take on the task. That's good. But don't get carried away. Remember to take the utmost care. Your careers depend on this, and should you fail, you could both lose your jobs. Hans has no idea. He's brimming with pride and confidence. Today, the deceivers are the victors. It might not be the cleanest victory, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Bastian and Astrid, go to the Assembly Hall B to collect the equipment. Use the inner hall rail system to transport them here. On our way, sir. Just when I take a step, Astrid sets a foot in front of me. I trip and fall, directly on top of Hans. Oof. In the split second between the start of my fall and the moment I hit Hans, I notice Astrid giving me a push. This gives me enough momentum to make Hans tumble over. We both fall onto the floor. She definitely did that on purpose. By the light of Harther, Bastian, how can you be so clumsy? Bastian, you idiot! Get off of me right now! Hans is furious. I scramble myself up and feel super humiliated. It must be the injury he suffered in battle. He's still recovering, that poor boy. But... Enough! Just get going. We have no time for such stupidity. Go, go! Yes, sir. Astrid grabs my arm and basically walks me out of the assembly hall. I'm furious, but control myself until we get out of sight. It's like, why? What the heck was that all about? You humiliated me. Well, to be honest, you've been falling quite a lot, so you can't really blame me for that. Astrid, why are you jeopardizing the mission like this? Calm down. I just needed to get these. I knew there was a reason for it. Astrid shows a set of keys in her hand. We need to make one stop on the way. What stop? The operations center. This is our last opportunity to get intel from there. That's why I needed the keys from Hans. Sorry that I used you, but anything for the righteous cause, right? And I gotta say, you did look quite funny when you fell on top of Hans. She lets out a laughter, but I'm not amused. Hey, I'm amused. I think it's pretty funny. That's not part of the mission. You can't compromise our primary objective. This is too big a chance not to take advantage of. They obviously don't suspect a thing right now. Everyone's going to be at the tank assembly. We have to do this, Bastian. But what if we get caught? Our whole mission could be compromised today. Astrid steps closer to me, her face an inch from mine. With the way she's looking at me, it's like I'm being inspected. Do I need to remind you that in our new organization, I am your supervisor? You are to obey my orders. Do you understand? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. That's better. Now follow me. Damn, I like it. She's taking charge. Astrid commanding me like this, it arouses a strange feeling in an interesting way. It actually feels good. We thread through the assembly hall until we reach the operations center. I try to shake the feeling of being watched, but I fail miserably. My focus should stay on Astrid. I need to trust her right now. Astrid takes the keys out of her pocket and opens the door. Welcome, sir. She emphasizes the last word. Annoyed, I walk into the operations center. Oops, sorry guys. Get the map and all the intel you can. Hurry. I take the map off the far wall, rolling it neatly up. Should I take the weird typewriter? The Kontar machine could be a jackpot for us, but we can't possibly carry it out of here unnoticed. Just grab all the papers that you can carry. I go through the drawers and fill my lap with papers. Astrid throws a duffel bag in front of me, and I stuff the papers and the map inside. Okay, time's up. Let's get going before they get suspicious. We quickly exit the operations center and lock the door behind us. Nobody's watching. We made it. We walk straight into the assembly hall B as quickly as possible without looking suspicious. The tank pieces for the Poodle are gargantuan. The massive assembly hall feels smaller because of the tremendous size of the machinery we're about to assemble and destroy. We climb on the turret piece. It's huge. The barrel's nearly 10 meters long. Good God. That's like 30 feet, guys. Yeah, Joe, crack the whip. I like it. Astrid takes a package out of one of her pockets. It's the bomb that will destroy the Poodle prototype. Remember, we're destroying the prototype so that no more of these can be... I keep hitting the right mouse button. Sorry about that. Yeah, but we're about to destroy the very prototype. So once we destroy this, they're not going to be able to, continue to manufacture these things. Astrid sets the timer on the bomb for 8 hours. We insert it deep inside the barrel, both grinning with concentration. So I was wondering how he was going to pull this bomb, setting this bomb off with the Colonel Ackerman watching over us and supervising. But very smartly, we've already set the bomb while we're over here picking up the pieces and nobody's watching. Very wise to set the bomb and install the bomb right now into the barrel before we actually go and assemble it in front of Colonel Ackerman. Well, now we know. Both grinning with concentration, the bomb set inside the barrel at 8 hours. This is all done in complete silence. We practice all night to get this right in a heartbeat. After that, we climb back down to get into the crane operators' cabins. We need 2 cranes to lift the pieces up. They're so heavy. With great precision, we attach the pieces on the overhead hooks. One mistake and we could break the pieces, or most likely the cranes. But our teamwork is flawless and we get all the pieces attached swiftly and neatly. Yeah, what about Hans's boyfriend? Yeah, what about him? The overhead hooks are attached to inner hull rails and will take the pieces to the assembly hall A1. After finishing the job, we get out of the cabins. I feel like hugging Astrid, but I know we are not done yet. No, the hardest part is still ahead of us. But for now, everything is going exactly according to plan. In silence, we head back to the main assembly hall 1. What took you so long? We don't have all day. Get to the assembly area now. Hans is nearly spitting with anger. I am heading toward the assembly. As I'm heading toward the assembly area, I spot Kontar heading our way. A cold bead of sweat drips down my spine. Facing him now at a time like this wasn't part of the plan. But I can't help it. I have to accept the consequences of my decision. Dear comrades, this is the day of great importance. This is the day of victory for our brave soldiers on the front have been waiting for. Finally, we can give them a tool they can use to win this war. Looking at you 3, I must say, I feel moved. To think of such a young spirit doing marvelous things. I'm proud of you all. Now, let's build this tank. Bastian and Astrid, execute the assembly. Poodle is so huge we need 2 cranes to assemble her, so Astrid and I each operate 1 crane. Sitting inside, separated by glass, we shoot each other a look. There's a glimpse of compassion in Astrid's eyes. She must know how hard this is for me, betraying the father I never really had. Alright, here we go, guys. I feel like this novel would have been a little bit better if somehow they would have made some kind of puzzles out of this. But again, if the puzzles, I'm sure they were afraid that if the puzzles were too hard on each tank assembly, then people might get frustrated and not play it all the way through. So maybe that's why they didn't make these assemblies, you know, puzzle based or whatever. All right, we're ready. We climb down from our machines. Hans and Kontar stand in silent awe, gazing at this massive tank. When I'm down on the ground, I do the same. The tank is on another level, surpassing anything I've ever built or even seen. I didn't know it was possible to feel pride and shame at the same time. Astonishing! This machine, it encapsulates the greatness of the Empire. Smooth, powerful, yet beautiful. Hans, even though we know the details of this tank, give us a little briefing, just to amuse us. Yes, sir. This awe-inspiring machine, the Poodle, weighs 188 tons. She is so heavy she cannot cross most bridges, so she's equipped with a snorkel for the crewmen to breathe through when the tank submerges during river crossings. She is the biggest tank ever built. She is 10.2 meters long, 3.71 meters wide, and 3.63 meters tall. Her real strength lies in her armor. The whole front armor is 200 millimeters thick, the whole sides 180, and the whole rear is 150 millimeters thick. The turret's front armor is even thicker at 220 millimeters, when the turret sides and rear boast 200 millimeter thick armor. To top even that, the gun manlet has a staggering 250 millimeter thick armor. Nothing our enemies throw at this beast can penetrate her. No tank has side and rear armor like the Poodle. The armor runs all the way down, covering the caterpillar tracks as well. She is safe from all attempts of destruction. Oh, really now? What about a bomb from inside the turret itself, Mr. Hans? Wow. On top of that, the main gun is a killer. The Poodle has a 128 millimeter gun, which is as big a gun as the largest flak guns. That'll penetrate all the models our enemies have ever known from a long distance. The tank is practically indestructible, and that's why she's a breakthrough tank. She will crush enemy lines, and our accompanying infantry will deal with a panicked enemy. Thank you, Hans, and a special thanks to our young assembly team. Soon, these machines will start rolling out from the factory in great numbers. Look at her and remember this moment. Still, our work is never finished. Get back to it, Bastian. Report to my office. I glance at Astrid, and her jaw is set. The assembly took much longer than usual due to the Poodle's sheer weight. The bomb will detonate in only 2 hours. Oh wow. I hope I can get out of the factory in time. I walk away after Kontar and watch as Hans starts yelling orders to Astrid. I hope she can make it out in time as well. Kontar is yet again standing at the window, his hands behind his back. This time, though, he turns quickly upon my entry and beams at me. Bastian, great job today. Dinner is at 6 o'clock. Don't be late. Nefer will be there, too. He gives me a look that reminds me of a precocious teenage boy. He truly is happy. Thank you, sir. I'll be there. Oh, one more thing, Bastian. After your splendid performance today, you are promoted to an assembly supervisor. This is the highest rank you can reach without being an officer. That is... Thank you so much, sir. I will see you in the evening, son. Yes, sir. I hold back tears as I leave, careful to not look at Frau Beller. I walk out of the factory. I get my bike. I exit the gates, and I look behind me. I start pedaling. That was my last day at the factory. The meeting spot Astrid and I picked is quiet and almost beautiful. It's along the river, hidden under a patch of low-hanging trees. Only a few minutes now before the detonation. The wait feels surreal. None of this could actually be happening. Now, obviously, guys, he is not going to Kontar's house. There's no way he can risk that. So, I look around nervously, hoping to see Astrid. Where is she? Did she even make it out? And then an explosion rips over the factory. Oh no. A thick cloud of black smoke, thicker than even the smoke coming from the factory chimneys, rises over the gates. It's a scene of darkness and destruction. It reminds me of the poodle painting hanging on Kontar's wall. I start to panic. Where's Astrid? Did she get caught? You're already here. Good. There she is. As usual, she has snuck up behind me once again. Where were you? I was worried sick. Calm down, Bastian. I just needed to make sure I got everything I needed. She drops the duffel bag on the ground and looks at me, smiling victoriously. You did a great job today, Bastian. This was an important step in our struggle. Crippling the Empire's war production is the best thing we could have accomplished. Without that new tank, the Empire cannot win this war. Astrid looks at the burning factory with visible satisfaction. Beautiful. We should get going. This place will be swarming with a protection guard soon. Let's get to our hideout. We get on our bikes and start heading south. Woo, exactly, right, Joe? I heard the news. Superb work. This will set the poodle production back for at least another 3 months. The Empire's army won't have the new tanks before winter, and that means their push for musket is doomed to fail. This is a great victory for our cause. My rebels, gather around and bring the good wine. We will drink to this. For the freedom of humankind. Everyone gets a drink, and we raise them up high. There's a visible heightening of spirit all around the hideout. Despite the celebrations, I can't seem to shake the feeling that freedom comes with a cost. A high cost for me. Will I ever heal from letting Kontar down? He trusted me like I was his own son. He was like a father to me. Astrid walks to me and puts her hand on my shoulder. What are you thinking about, Bastian? You look sad. He does look sad. I made a decision, and I'll follow the path that leads me down. But you know it came with a price. Yes, I know. Bastian, come and raise another glass with us. Astrid and I walk amongst the others. Everyone seems happy. Astrid smiles at me, and I smile back. Thomas pats my shoulder hard. Bastian, I know you must be feeling conflicted after all this. It's completely understandable. But we have a visitor today that just might make you feel different. The door to the hideout opens, and a man steps into the light. Bastian, there's someone here you should meet. Oh my god, guys. Panzer Hearts is dedicated for all the young soldiers around the world. Now, I knew we were close to the end, guys. I knew we were, close. I didn't know it was going to be over quite so soon. But yeah, I think there was no secret there that that person that he should meet is going to be his brother that he thought was dead this whole time. Yeah. I believe that was his brother, just like Joe says there. What a good story. This visual novel in a lot of ways reminded me of one of my favorite movies of all time in Braveheart. Braveheart, if you remember, from 1995, Mel Gibson, dealt with war. It dealt with betrayal. It dealt with love. And it definitely dealt with freedom and fighting for freedom. Fighting for the freedom of the people. And that was the focus of the great movie Braveheart, and that was the focus of this visual novel, Panzer Hearts, which definitely dealt with love and consequence and fighting for freedom. And yeah, I enjoyed it very much. I think it's one of the better visual novels that I've read. I don't know that it's the best visual novel that I read, but it was definitely a really, really good. This is definitely a visual novel that was. It may not be the best writing I've ever read. I mean, I'm talking about like the descriptions of things and I felt like it could have been written a little bit better, like with better descriptions and but one thing it definitely had that made it so good was that it had elements of surprise. It had twists that I didn't expect when they happened. But the biggest thing that Panzer Hearts has that I really appreciate is that this visual novel, you can tell, like, overflows and oozes with passion and love. This visual novel was written with a extreme amount of passion, a high amount of love, and it was written from, I believe, the heart. I don't think this is a visual novel that was made just to try to make money. This is a product of the heart, a product of passion, and that is why I love Panzer Hearts. If it's not the best, it isn't bad. It isn't as bad as that Russian one. Oh my god. Oh, don't remind me of that one, Joe. Oh man, that one was terrible. Yeah, it was a good one. I really enjoyed Panzer Hearts. Man, I'm trying to remember all the visual novels I've read. I've been lucky, guys, with visual novels. There isn't many visual novels that I've read that have been bad like that Russian one. I've been really fortunate. I feel like a lot of the visual novels I've read have been really, really well done. Maybe I'm just a sucker for decent writing. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely in the top 3, for sure. But I think I'm going to have to make a video soon on my YouTube channel or something like that. I'm going to have to put a video out. I'm going to have to go back and look at all my visual novels again that I played and really try to put these in order, because I've read a lot of them, guys. I've read a lot of visual novels. There are some really, really good ones. And the funny thing is everybody raves about like Doki Doki Literature Club, and I think Doki Doki Literature Club is like maybe barely in the top 10 of the visual novels I've read. I think Doki Doki Literature Club, while a good visual novel, there's just so many better ones that I've already read, in my opinion. And I think there's better visual novels that I've read. You guys, if you guys haven't listened to me play some of these visual novels, I mean, I'm trying to remember. Let me look. Is it something, guys? Actually, let me just do this. Joe, I don't know if you've heard me read this one. This one might be one of the better ones as well. Zaxter 99. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. I don't know if you saw me read this one, but I believe it was called. Oh, it was called Amber with RE, like that. Right here. This one is a full live stream, a heartbreaking kinetic novel. It's only 2.5 hours, where this one here is over 7 hours long. So this is a short one. And I read this one, I believe, a little over a year ago. Amber, this visual novel had me so salty. I was freaking pissed. Like, I was disgusted. I was raging. There was true salt as I was reading this. And by the end of it, it had me feeling like a lunatic and feeling like a fool, and had me crying. So, Amber, the kinetic novel, I know this is probably one of the better ones that I've read, and I believe this visual novel here was completely free on Steam. So definitely check out if you guys haven't heard me read this one, you know, when you get time this weekend or whenever you get a chance, I'm going to put the link right here. Definitely maybe put it as a... you can check that out when you get time. It's 2.5 hours. I read that back in June of 2017. And that one I really liked as well. I enjoyed, and it did a fantastic job of completely making me an emotional mess. And you guys will probably be pretty amused at how well it worked to take me from one extreme emotion to another extreme in such a short period of time. But yeah, I've been fortunate to have read a ton of really good visual novels that I like. I'm working through them in my spare time. Yeah, there's been a lot. I've been lucky with these visual novels. All right, Joe, it's been a pleasure having you here as usual. Sadly, you know, it's not only me that isn't getting a lot of views on these live stream of the Moonshines, especially when I do visual novels. I think most people don't understand how good writing can be, a book or a visual novel. Most people see somebody playing a visual novel on YouTube and they're looking for action. They're looking for Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever, not understanding that sometimes, books or visual novels can have so much more inside of them. But I really enjoyed this one, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching. I love reading, though. Absolutely. So tell me, Joe, before I wrap this up, how is it, you say you like reading, how is it to listen to and watch somebody read a visual novel? Like, honestly, how does it feel to have somebody read to you? Like, because I know that, like, you could go out and get this visual novel yourself, and you could definitely read it a lot quicker if you just read it yourself. Like, you know, how is it to have somebody read a visual novel to you? Is it kind of weird, or I guess do you like it? Like, I don't know. I guess it's probably different for you, especially when you read all the time. But I know it definitely takes a lot longer to listen to somebody read a visual novel than if you just read it yourself. Because, you know, especially if you read quite often, you can probably read pretty fast. But yeah, good stuff. What was I going to look at here? Oh, there was lore, but what happened to the lore? I know it was an option at one point. Credits. Yeah, we already saw this. Developer was one guy. The story was written by Carrie Likinen. Produced by another guy. And then 5 people did the art. 6 people did the art, sorry. No, sorry, 8 people did the art. And then there was a programmer, some additional programmers, and everything, but the whole story was written by one person, looks like. Very interesting, but I really like this one. It's like an old radio show, Joe says. Or like having your dad read to us as a kid. That's what I kind of wondered. I know I was reading some kind of a romance visual novel a couple of years ago. Something about a lady or a young teenage girl in France or somewhere. And some kind of a love affair she had that went wrong or whatever. I can't remember the name of that one, but it was pretty interesting. It definitely wasn't as good as this, but it was definitely interesting and entertaining. But I remember for that one on YouTube, that was back when I used to have quite a bit of YouTube viewers in all my stuff. And I think I had like 20 people watching me read that one. And I know a few people told me that they enjoyed listening to me read because it was like a lot of the like kids and stuff like that were telling me like their parents had never read to them. So they would come watch my streams and listen to me read to them. And it's like having a father read us a bedtime story. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, Joe. Glad you guys are here. If you guys are watching this video on YouTube, be sure you like my video. Be sure you comment down below and let me know what you thought of Panzer Hearts and how much you enjoyed it, especially if you listened to the whole thing. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys all. Thanks for being here, Joe, like I said, and we will see you soon. Peace out, everybody. Take care. And remember, just like his mom in this, this visual novel, she passed away when he least expected it, and before he got to say his final goodbye. Make sure that everybody you love and care about out there knows the way you feel, not just once, but every single day. You never know when not only your last day will be here, but when the last day for the people you love and care about the most, last day will be here as well. Alright guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your freedom this weekend from work and from school. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.